Greetings, sports fans. I'm Colonel Failure, and this is Bulldozer Power, back once more in Motorsport Manager. In the last race, we actually performed, well, a lot better than I expected, but it's still very early in the season. Silveira there finishing 6th with Hazel in 10th. Hazel's form actually was a 9.1, which is pretty dramatic given his eventual position, and especially since he was properly rubbish in the first race. But, you know, we've got the result that we wanted, and this is actually looking pretty strong for us as we move into the trickier stage of the season where our opposition is likely to be a little more competent. Anyway, from this race in Munich, P. Ruto ended up on first place with 00 in second and Finger Puppet in third. As far as the championship is concerned, that puts 00 1 point clear in first, with Price in second, Ruto and Puppet tied for third. Hazel, meanwhile, is snapping at their heels in 7th place. And Silveira with 19 points, I should say, in 11th, is also looking like, well, maybe this could be our season. I don't think we're going to challenge for the victory overall, but we could potentially get somewhere. We're not a million miles away from bronze position, with Silver Racing ahead of us, and we're a good distance ahead of Dragon Race Team China, who are currently at the bottom. I've promised Kurt that we'll finish 9th because I'm terribly bold when it comes to making team predictions. So Gary's reporting back on the condition of the car, and it's business as usual really, but 33 hours to get them both back up to 100%. Meanwhile, Simon Higgins, good old Higgo there, from XBC Sport, has got a question to ask. Go on, Higgo, for you anytime. You attempted a quick pit stop for Hazel during the last race, but it resulted in a mistake. Your very own chairman criticised the move, saying, "Motorsport isn't the place for gambling." I think the likes of William Hill will possibly disagree with you there. We had to go for it, is the right answer. Every second makes a difference in this sport. Which neither of my drivers were pleased about. But then, my drivers seem to have erratic mood swings anyway. Gary's back with our pit crew report, performed 5 stops. Fastest was 11.7 seconds, which was pretty quick. We had one crew mistake, wasn't dangerous, but it lost us some time. He's conducted an after-action report with Valeria Becerra, whoever that is, about their mistake, and feel free to take matters into your own hands. Finally, I'd recommend looking at our pit stop times. Our simulated stops are slower than you'd expect. It might be worth swapping around the crew. Oh, no. Let's have a look. Crompton, stamina 55. Oh, dear. Becerra, stamina 32. All right, well, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say, have a seat there, Becerra. We'll swap you in with Long Johns, and... Well, you're not a tyre change specialist there, Caton. And as much as we've got Wakefield on the tyre change situation right now, I'm reluctant to swap in another bad crew member. Yeah. Well, Crumpton will recover a little in the next couple of days before the next race, at least. I hope that's going to be the case. So we're just going to chance it. Long Johns, of course, is one of our premium pit crew, so that should be fine. Maybe I should hire one more. Do we think that's a good idea? No, we'll make do with what we got. We're running quite tight on money as it is. Bjorn Bjelland, meanwhile, the contract's looking good. Let's get that thing dried. You know what? I can say words. Let's get that thing signed. There you go. That's what we say in professional colonel school. Let's have a look. Let's sign that contract. He's going to pay me per race, I believe. Right, Megan. Thank you for your service. Continue to finances. Right, new cost per race. I lose 75 but gain 86. Magnifico. Well, that's going to help, certainly. But Bjorn is also going to do a sterling job, I'm sure, as one of our practice drivers, given that his feedback is significantly better than that of Hazel, given that Hazel's feedback is, in fact, 0. So yeah, this can only be a good thing. Meanwhile, Motor Racing Magazine have reported that top Norwegian driver, I think that's pushing it a little, has decided his future in racing lies away from Team Nordhagen and has negotiated to move to Bulldozer Power. As soon as you were unemployed, mate. You weren't at Team Nordhagen at all. The deal is worth an estimated £500,000 per year to Bjelland. It's worth more than that to me, given that he's paying us to drive. Excellent. Simon Higgins is back. Octane Racing have opened a new handling development centre at their Canada-based headquarters. Good for them. The building reportedly set them back a hefty £5 million. That's nothing, mate. I have spent so much more than that on our engine test track thing that we're working on. What are we working on here? It's not there, that's for sure. 22 weeks for our test track to be built. Well, that's past the end of the season, so good times on that front. But hopefully it will allow us to make this performance needle move a little bit more favourably in our direction. That's what we're hoping. That's why I'm paying the money anyway. Meanwhile, Gary's saying that they've finished working on both cars and we've got some sponsors available. I love it when there's sponsors available. Right, okay, we've got two options in at the moment. Sangyu, bonus payment of $1 million a race. Yeah. Home race bonus, nothing. Or Wanderluck, who'll do me $650 a race with $100,000 up front for 4 races. Okay, we'll wait for offer number 3. Neither of those are making me particularly excited, and it should only be a couple of days until the next one comes in. And here it is. Well, would you look at that? Ishikawa Malt Whiskey, 5-race deal, which suits me just fine, because that will mean I can sign another deal before the end of the season. An upfront payment of $1 million, lovely, with a bonus payment per race of $1.2 million. Thank you very much. You may plonk your logo all over the car. Have at it. Grand. Okay, well, that takes us back over the the 10 million mark again. The cost per race is still 1.1, which, could be better. But, we'll get some more sponsorship coming in. In 2 races' time, we've got 3 more slots open up. So if I can scare up another couple of million out of that, should secure us for the rest of the season, providing I don't go too mad when it comes to the development of new parts. On which note, we're only a little way away from a new part becoming available. So the World Motorsport Championship reports back from Beijing, where Reaper 86 has taken podium. Well, I mean, it's not the first time he's done that. He is one of the better drivers in the championship, with Carl Johnson in second, and Vertia. Let's go with Vertia. Telspikorai. Okay, good name. Has managed to wrap up 3rd place, which takes her to 6th in the overall championship. Well, tied for 5th with Shoot. And that makes Johnson Fishburne Don 8-6 Shoot Telspikorai, which is the name that I need to mention far more often if I'm going to be able to pronounce it without issue. Anyway, that rounds out the top 6 there in the WMC. So Sophia Harris has finished her latest batch of scouting. Bruno Cabral is the man of the moment. Let's have a quick look at Bruno. He's dull there. However, he is dedicated. Well, that's lovely. However, we've got a full race team at the moment, so we really don't need another racing driver right now. Freddie, meanwhile, has finished his latest engine masterpiece with good performance. 223, I think, makes it our best engine so far. So let's go and have a look and see how we're getting on here. Both sets of brakes are already looking relatively reliable. Our main engine it's not quite up to the 220, which is its best. And in fact, this new engine that we built it's only got slightly better capability with that regard, but that's okay. Actually, I want you to become reliable. Well, actually, I need them both to become reliable. Let's split this down the middle. What are we going to get here? I think we'd rather have reliability than performance at the moment, chaps, if that's all right with you. Performance we can work on later. 21 days after the race, that's not going to cut it. 15 days after the race, that's not really going to cut it either. So I guess that means that both engines are going to be in the realm of, I don't know, let's pick a random number here, 65, maybe 70% reliable by race day. Meanwhile, we've got the opportunity to stick something else into a performance increase. Let's get our secondary suspension in there. One day before the race, it will max out. Well, that's nice. We're not going to give you any staff, though, so 28 days after the race. C'est la vie. Right, okay, so we've got a scout available. Let's scout the next one. Where are you? Come here. Go. Get scouted, Espinoza. Or Espinoza, as I believe one should pronounce these things. Well, it's all go in my mailbox. So, changes on the cards for the Black Sea Grand Prix. Global Motorsport Association bosses will be deciding whether to switch to Track B layout and the Russian circuit. Well, we do currently go there twice a season. That's fine. Meanwhile, Anna is back with a report on the next race in Milan. 23-lap race. So this is quite a long track. Lap record is 1:16, so long and fast. Interesting. Likely to be some rain. Okay, Sunday showing 40%. Well, we had 40% last time round and rain never showed up. So, but any inconsistency when it comes to the weather plays into my devilishly amazing strategy with regard to pit stops. However, here is Jiro Kagawa from Motor Racing Magazine. Global Motor Association to meet for the first time in person this season, or some such. It's that time again. The GMA is about to meet for the first time this year. The 10 team bosses in the European Racing Championship of the GMA board, cast about, we covered that a minute ago. We'll just hang on. Oh, it's a mail from Nicholas Hazel. What does he want? Compared to the top teams on the grid, our acceleration is a bit lackluster. Don't suppose you're thinking of getting the designers working on a new gearbox anytime soon, are you? Nick, you really shouldn't have sent this mail, because I was on the fence. The crowd, the fans of Bulldozer Power have been asking me to give Silveira the better car, right? They've been asking me to give her the better car, and she hasn't been complaining lately. So I think when it comes to Milan, she's going to get the better car. Simon Higgins from XBC Sport, pre-race gossip. It's time for our roundup. Garuda Racing have been strongly tipped to perform strongly. I've added an extra strongly there for laughs. By noted ex-driver Michael Tellman, who says, Hans 00, I'll get over Hans 00. I'm expecting Garuda Racing to do well this weekend. Claimed top racing pundit Michael Tellman. He just said that. Meanwhile, Bulldozer Power are likely to struggle this weekend. We're likely to struggle most weekends, with this being one of the less favourable tracks on the calendar for the United Kingdom-based outfit. Milan was never going to be our strongest race of the season, to be honest. It's not going to be easy, said Nicholas Hazel, who's talking to the flipping press. That's it, mate. You are definitely not having the better car this weekend. So it's time for a bit of the politics here, replacing a Black Sea Track F with Track B. You know what? I'm going to add to the stain. That's what I'm going to do. It makes absolutely no difference. We'll likely struggle. Well, maybe this season. Next season we'll have our new facilities in place, so we'll see how it pans out. I'm not expecting to do well this season anyway, because we're not quite there. I think I maybe dragged my heels a little too much in the first couple of seasons, and now I'm having to play catch up a bit. Which way is it going? It looks like this is getting through. Okay, well, there we go. The fast track is going to be in play next season. Wow, that's pretty exciting. Ernie Heckelrock, Big Ern, GMA president. The rule change was approved and will be implemented for the 2019 season. Next vote is in 56 days. I look forward to it, Ernie. So here we are, we're about to head off to Milan. We've got one more piece of mail waiting for us, and it's Carlotta Marquez from JTV. Silver Racing have just cut the ribbon on their freshly upgraded design centre. Oh, lovely. The building work took 20 weeks to complete and set the team back by 8 million quid. Flipping Nora. All these teams with a lot of money, that must be lovely. We've barely got an HQ. I've got a burger van, and an outdoor lav at the moment. There's not an awful lot we can do about that. And look at this. I'd love to be able to make better parts, but Well, that's just not going to happen now, is it? We're going to be stuck languishing, and I'm not sure if and when. We've got the second best factory. Well, that's lovely. For design, second best for design. That's also lovely. What do we got here? Fourth best for staff. That's lovely. Staff and brand, third best. Well, that's lovely as well. Well, you know, the whole team's pretty lovely. But this test track is flipping ages away. It would be smashing to get it earlier, but that's just not going to be the case. Anyway, right, let's tweak the cars up ahead of the race. You're not gonna like this, Hazel, but then you should have kept your face shut, shouldn't you? Right, Silver. What do we need for this race? Top speed, deceleration, high corners. So engine and brakes. Let's give the better engine to Vanessa. Let's give you our budget second engine. 64 is where we've ended up there. So be it. Tell you what, let's give the better brakes to Silveira. And Hazel is going to be lucky if I give him any brakes at all. On the gearbox side of things, I think I'm going to give the better gearbox to Silveira. And on the suspension, I think I might give the better suspension to Silveira. Unhappy. This car's looking rubbish. Vanessa's car is better than mine, but I guess that's because I'm the number 2 driver. Yes, Nicholas, you are now number 2 in our hearts. Silveira is number 1, and she better do well. The reason that I've been putting my faith behind young Nick Hazel of late is because, well, he's the future. He's young, but also he actually likes overtaking. Whereas Silveira, with 6 points of overtaking, is hopeless. Nicholas has got 16. But he's inconsistent and he's terrible at braking. So, you know, there's some apples and oranges going on in there. And that's just how it is. So let's have a quick look and see if the pit crew have recovered at all, which they haven't. Brilliant. So Crumpo is still on 56 stamina. I hope it's enough. If he ends up, you know, hosing things up here, then there's going to be drama of the sit out the next race. Why don't you, Crumpo? But we're ready to go. I shall see you in Milan after these important messages.